Rey Mysterio, born Oscar Gutierrez on December 11, 1974, is widely associated with Mexican wrestling culture despite being born in Chula Vista, California. He began his wrestling career at just 14 years old, trained by his uncle, Rey Mysterio Sr., also known as La Gatia Verde, the Green Lizard, and under the ring name Caliber, which means hummingbird in Spanish. Around 1991, his uncle bestowed the quote-unquote Mysterio name upon him, and he began wrestling as Rey Mysterio Jr. Mysterio gained prominence in Mexico's AAA promotion from 1992 to about 1995, during which he had notable matches with Juventud Guerrera. His work caught the eye of Paul Heyman, the head of ECW, who invited Mysterio to compete in a match against Psychosis. Around this time, Guerrero was also recruited to ECW. Paul Heyman is credited with introducing the high-energy Lucha Libre style to American audiences beyond Southern California and Texas. Rey Mysterio continued to work with Heyman until March of 1996, when Eric Bischoff and WCW made him an offer. Mysterio signed with WCW, and soon other luchadors like Psychosis and Juventud Guerrera followed suit. Mysterio made his WCW debut on June 6, 1996 at the Great American Bash pay-per-view, where he challenged cruiserweight champion Dean Malenko. Despite losing the match, Mysterio made a strong impression. The Cruiserweight Championship was a new concept for WCW, which had previously attempted a light heavyweight division that failed to gain traction beyond Brian Pillman. Mysterio quickly won his first WCW Cruiserweight Championship, defeating Malenko on the July 8, 1996 episode of Monday Nitro. His initial reign lasted just over 3 months before he lost the title back to Malenko at the Halloween Havoc pay-per-view in October 1996. He ended the year feuding with Ultimo Dragon over the J-Crown Championships, which continued into 1997, where he briefly clashed with WCW television champion Prince Iaukea. Most of 1997 saw Mysterio embroiled in a feud with the NWO and his former AAA colleague Conor. Following that period, Mysterio returned to the cruiserweight title scene and won the championship from Eddie Guerrero at Halloween Havoc 1997. However, his second reign was short-lived, as he lost the title back to Guerrero on the November 10, 1997 episode of Nitro. On January 15, 1998, at WCW Thunder, Mysterio secured his third Cruiserweight Championship by defeating his old rival, Juventud Guerrera. Mysterio's fourth Cruiserweight Championship reign was brief, as he lost the title to Chris Jericho just 9 days later at the sold-out 1998 pay-per-view. He made a comeback from knee surgery to defeat Jericho at Bash at the Beach in 1998, but his victory was reversed the following night on Nitro. Following this, Mysterio resumed his feud with Eddie Guerrero, who had aligned himself with a new faction, the Latino World Order, LWO, a spin-off of the NWO. Guerrero tried to recruit Mysterio into the LWO, but Rey refused. Eventually, after losing a match to Guerrero, Mysterio was compelled to join the group. During this period, Mysterio began teaming with Billy Kidman, who was recognized for his talent by WCW. In hindsight, many believe Mysterio should have been positioned as the central figure of the cruiserweight division, rather than sharing the spotlight with others like Kidman. Mysterio remains the most memorable figure from that era for many old WCW fans. As for the LWO, Mysterio eventually embraced and later took over the group, leading to more confrontations with the NWO. This period culminated into one of the more contentious moments of Mysterio's career, his loss of the mask at Super Brawl in February 1999. The build-up to this match was rushed, and Mysterio felt betrayed by WCW. Losing the mask was a significant blow, both personally for Mysterio and for the lucha libre culture as a whole. He has stated in interviews that he felt pressured to agree to this loss, fearing he might lose his job if he did not comply. This situation highlights how Mysterio viewed his position and value within the company at that time. Mysterio likely got the attention of WWE, despite being advised that his size might be a barrier to joining the company. Over the next few months, he performed a giant killer gimmick in WCW, where he was showcased as an underdog who could defeat larger opponents like Kevin Nash, Bam Bam Bigelow, and Scott Norton. Although he was a popular figure, Eric Bischoff gave him the strong impression that he would never rise above mid-card status as long as Bischoff was in charge. During this period, Mysterio won his 5th Cruiserweight Championship and even challenged Ric Flair for the WCW Championship on an episode of Monday Nitro. He also teamed up with Billy Kidman, and together they captured the tag team titles from Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko of the Four Horsemen. In 1999, there was a lot of turnover with championship titles, with titles changing hands frequently. Mysterio held both the Cruiserweight and Tag Team Championships during this time, often losing and regaining the Cruiserweight title before eventually losing the Tag Team titles with Kidman. By the summer of 1999, Mysterio had held the Cruiserweight Championship 5 times, was a Tag Team Champion, and had been without his mask since February of that year. He then reunited with his old friend Conor, and they began to be featured alongside the No Limit Soldiers, a group led by rapper Master P. WCW hoped that the popularity of Master P and his crew in the music world would translate into success for their wrestling product. In short, it didn't work out, but it provided a memorable clash between rap and country music, featuring the stable named the West Texas Rednecks. After WCW realized they were wasting money on Master P week after week, they scraped that angle. Instead, they introduced a new group called the Filthy Animals, featuring Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, and Billy Kidman. Mysterio held the Cruiserweight Championship until August 19 of 1999, when he lost it to Lenny Lane. In October 1999, he teamed up with Conor to win the Tag Team Championships again. However, by the end of 1999, Mysterio was sidelined with an injury, but returned to WCW in early 2000 as part of the New Blood faction, while still being associated with the Filthy Animals, now without Eddie Guerrero, who had left for WWE in January, along with other dissatisfied wrestlers. Mysterio continued with WCW until it closed in early 2001, adding another tag team title reign with Kidman in the summer of 2000. After WCW's closure, Mysterio went back to Mexico, wrestling for rival promotion CMLL rather than AAA. He also did spot shows in the US and wrestled in Puerto Rico for WWC. By 2002, with WWE having bought WCW the previous year but not signing many former WCW stars, the old Turner contracts began to expire. Vince McMahon started signing these wrestlers, and in the summer of 2002, vignette for Rey Mysterio's WWE debut began airing. Mysterio returned to WWE, this time without the Junior in his name, and wore his iconic mask. This topic might even warrant a full video on its own. It was quite surprising that Rey Mysterio returned to wearing his mask, given how deeply ingrained the mask is in lucha libre culture. Losing one's mask is typically seen as a major and disrespectful event, almost as sacred as the act of wearing it. Despite this, Mysterio made a strong comeback, and he was quickly embraced by the WWE audience. He immediately began a notable feud with Kurt Angle, resulting in some memorable matches. Mysterio was then paired in a tag team with Edge, which seemed like a typical move by Vince McMahon struggling to figure out how to best utilize a new star. Mysterio and Edge won the tag team titles, but held them for only a few weeks before being split up. Starting 2003 with little direction, Mysterio soon found himself at the center of the cruiserweight division, which WWE was revamping. By June 5th, 2003, Mysterio won his first WWE Cruiserweight Championship by defeating Matt Hardy. His initial reign lasted 3 months before he lost the title to Tajiri. For the rest of 2003, Mysterio was somewhat adrift but seemed set to become a key figure in the Cruiserweight division again. By the end of 2004, he was the tag team champion once more, this time partnering with Rob Van Dam to defeat Kenzo Suzuki and Rene Dupree. After Van Dam was injured, Eddie Guerrero stepped in as Mysterio's partner, and together they held the tag team titles twice. In 2005, Eddie Guerrero turned heel on Rey Mysterio, leading to their infamous feud over the custody of Dominic Mysterio. Yes, the same Dominic who is now wrestling alongside his father in WWE. Rey won custody of Dominic in a ladder match and then defeated Guerrero again in a steel cage match on SmackDown in September 2005. This feud concluded tragically when Eddie Guerrero passed away on November 13, 2005. Despite the loss, Mysterio went on to have a deeply emotional match against Shawn Michaels, which he won. This period was pivotal for Rey Mysterio, as WWE decided to elevate him as the leading figure of their Latino audience. He was pushed into high-profile matches, including a notable feud with Big Show and tag team title runs with Batista. Mysterio's momentum led him to win the Royal Rumble and subsequently the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 22. His title reign, although brief, was significant and ended in July 2006 when he lost to King Booker. After losing the title, Mysterio returned to mid-card status and began a long-running feud with Chavo Guerrero. Although the feud was intended to elevate Chavo, it didn't make a significant impact. Mysterio continued to be a valuable asset to WWE, recognized as a main event talent, but there was no grand plan for him at the time. At WrestleMania 25 in March 2009, Mysterio won the Intercontinental Championship by defeating JBL in just 21 seconds. Rey Mysterio soon entered a feud with Chris Jericho, which lasted for several months. On August 2nd, 2009, WWE announced that Mysterio would be suspended for 30 days due to a violation of the company's wellness policy. Mysterio explained that he had a prescription for medication for his arm and knee, but was unable to provide proof at the time, leading to his suspension. After serving his suspension, Mysterio returned and was given a push that included a WWE Championship match at the Royal Rumble against his former partner, Batista. Mysterio did not win at the Royal Rumble and subsequently began a feud with CM Punk, which extended to WrestleMania 26 in March 2010. At this stage in his career, Mysterio was a key figure in WWE, respected and influential, and continued to be an inspiration to young fans. However, WWE's view of Mysterio seemed to shift. By WrestleMania 27 in 2011, he was involved in an unforgettable undercard feud with Cody Rhodes. Despite this, Mysterio managed to climb back up the ranks and engaged in another high-profile feud with CM Punk, who was also rising in prominence. Mysterio briefly won the WWE Championship in the summer of 2011, but lost it back to John Cena within hours. Following this, Mysterio was frequently used to elevate the new heel, Alberto Del Rio. Mysterio faced another setback with a second wellness policy suspension in April 2012, which kept him sidelined for 60 days. Upon his return, he was quickly paired in a tag team with Sin Cara, also known as Mystico from Mexico. In Mexico, Mystico was a major star, and his WWE debut as Sin Cara was highly anticipated. However, Sin Cara struggled to connect with the WWE audience, which led to WWE pairing him with Rey Mysterio in an effort to boost his impact. Although Mysterio was dissatisfied with this direction, he continued with the team throughout the year. By March 2013, Mysterio was sidelined again due to a knee injury. When he returned by the end of 2013, it was evident that WWE saw him more as a supporting player. In March 2014, Mysterio participated in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania, a match typically reserved for talent without long-term plans. After WrestleMania 30 in 2014, Mysterio sought to leave WWE, but his contract was extended due to time spent injured, a common practice in WWE's talent relations. Finally, in February 2015, Mysterio was granted his release after nearly 13 years with the company. Just 5 days later, he announced his return to AAA in Mexico for the first time since 1995. Tragically, Mysterio's comeback included a high-profile tag match where he teamed with Mystices against Perro Aguayo Jr. and Pentagon Jr. During the match, Aguayo collapsed after a drop kick and passed away in the ring, with the official cause of death being cardiac arrest. This incident was devastating for Mysterio, the other performers, and the families involved. Following the tragic incident, Rey Mysterio continued his career with AAA, engaging in a feud with his former partner, Mystices. However, by the end of 2016, financial disputes led him to leave AAA. Mysterio then became a sought-after figure in the indie wrestling scene, although his high asking price meant he was mostly featured on major indie events. Mysterio signed with Lucha Underground, appearing in its second season in 2018. He also competed in one-off matches for New Japan Pro Wrestling and AAA in Mexico, while simultaneously working with WWE, making a return at the Royal Rumble that year. By September 2018, Mysterio signed a 2-year contract with WWE, marking the beginning of his current tenure with the company. In this latest stint, Mysterio has mainly been positioned as a veteran star, often paired with his son, Dominic Mysterio, in mid-card tag team matches. His future in WWE seems secure, though it remains tied to his son's development. Over his career, Mysterio has amassed 15 WWE championships and is approaching 30 years as an active performer.